sprinting at full speed. She can't get the image out of her head. That giant man, that thing, the way it grabbed the car and just chucked it aside like it was nothing, like it was a leaf. Like it was a ball. There was no way that officer, or was he a soldier, or was he a Sheldon. His name was Sheldon. There's no way he's still alive. He took that thing's fist. How would you even get up after that? Mckayla becomes briefly aware of a distant siren. And it reminds her that she's still exposed. Not thinking, she just turns to her right, rushes towards a parked vehicle. Perhaps she slides over its hood until she reaches the door in front of her, some sort of building. Bracing herself, hands up, she just breaks through that door. 58. It is a mental health hospital. That's going to be interesting. We follow up to the primary encounters. What is she mostly going to find in here? I'm not going to post the full list, you'll just see what it is when we roll it. So here's the roll. It is another D100 table. Yep, another D100 table. And here's the roll. 14. One self-declared sheriff, and one D8 plus 5 deputies. So let's get that D8 first. I want to say this is 2, 6, 8. Oh no, it's the 10. Interesting. There is no two-sided dice. Sorry, it starts at 4. I was just thinking numerically. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll the dice. 8. Okay. Write this down real quick. Well, so right away that tells me that the people she runs into might not be friendly. They are self-declared. This book, obviously, you read the title, is for a wasteland. We're going to have to twist it around to make it make more sense. So my immediate thing is we're finding people with essentially stolen valor. They're pretending to be sheriffs, pretending to be deputies. Hell, maybe one of them was at one time and is now just claiming it. We don't know that yet. We haven't even met them. We just know that there are 8 plus 5. I was going to say D8, but never mind. We know that there are 13 false police officers in here. We just haven't met them yet. And this is a mental hospital. Wow, it's pretty charged. We're not going to go with the obvious. But nonetheless, she hits the door into it. And it's a parking garage. That's what we're going to say it is. The door opens. The sound echoes across the concrete walls, and she lets it close behind her, and she places her back against it. And she just lets herself breathe. She tries to let herself calm. But with eyes closed, all she can picture is the car getting tossed aside, bashing against the wall, and this creature looking like it didn't even break a sweat. She can see Sheldon taking that hit and then collapsing, sliding across the ground. And her heart beats to the same tempo of that man's monster's heavy steps as it approached them. But it didn't chase her. It stayed with Sheldon, probably to finish the job. Mckayla isn't sure how long she's standing there. And her heart finally starts to calm. And she opens her eyes. Perhaps there's a bit of that blonde hair running down the side of it. Sweat keeps it stuck to her face. So she brushes it back behind an ear. and she finally starts to pay attention to what's around her. Vans, perhaps a bus, white in color. Bars on the bus. The vans have no windows except for the front passenger driver's side. She listens for a moment, thinks for a moment. Sheldon called out to that thing, and it turned around and faced him. Would it have done that if he hadn't have called? You get a little closer to the mic because I feel like I'm leaning in to talk. So she doesn't call out. Instead, she strains to listen. The first thing we want to ask, is anyone else in here? 3. That is a no, but on the Oracle. No one is in here. But they're coming soon. How soon? Let's throw up a D4. 2. 2 more questions before someone comes in. Write that down. Eyes forward. She listens. We're going to make that a vigilance check, which is 1 yellow, 1 green. It's quiet in here, so we're only going to make that against 1 purple. She would hear if something moved. Success 3. Advantage and threat. They cancel each other out, but it's still a success. So she listens. Here's perking, because apparently she's a dog. And here's nothing. Not wanting to take chances based on what happened with Sheldon, based on the fact that the undead are showing up. She draws the handgun that he gave her. 15 shots. 15 shots. She probably doesn't have any actual training in it. Probably doesn't understand how to hold it, so her finger's going to be on the trigger. And she's just going to hold it off to her side as she moves. Her steps are a dead giveaway as she walks. Her shoes, the beat-up basketball shoes, I believe. Pitter-patter. Tap as she walks over to the nearest white van. Much like the parking complex by her apartment, this one is dark. It hides many shadows with the exception of the dim lights built into the ceiling above. They provide that same industrial glow that I keep mentioning. I'm gonna try to mention it at least once an episode now. She walks over to the nearest van. Does it open? Or is it unlocked, I guess is the better question. Is that van unlocked? 6. Yes. And that is our first wild. Yes, the van is unlocked. And I was going to say and there's weapons inside, but that's too easy. However, that is the first thing I thought of. Yes, the van is unlocked and the keys are inside. We'll say that one. That one's less, less rigged. She opens it up. Does the light on the... I don't know what those are called. Like utility light? Just the light above when you open the door in the vehicle. Does that come on? No. And the key is turned. But there are no lights on the dash. It's dead. How is it dead? She reaches under, pops the front, but that is our second question. So, we are going to roll a vigilance to see if she even pays attention or she's aware of the person that's sneaking up. That's going to be the same one as yellow and green. These are false soldiers, or false police officers, right? So we have to assume that they at least have something. Well, let's ask right now, hold on. Is the person that's sneaking up on Mckayla competent? No. And perhaps he's holding something that makes him obvious as he approaches. So, Mckayla's going to get her too. We're going to have a blue to represent the fact that he is perhaps making noise as he approaches, right? The purple is just to represent the difficulty of the check. It's just a 1. And we're going to give him a black also to represent the fact that perhaps he's not able to react right away. We don't know what he's carrying yet. We'll find out when this person shows up. We don't even know if it's a he, but we'll find out right now. So let's see first, is Mckayla caught off guard? Yes. Success and failure of 2 each both cancel each other out, but 1 is advantage over threat because we have 2 advantages and 1 threat, so 1 advantage remains. Mckayla, how are you caught off guard, girl? Like, what the hell? Alright. Why is it? Okay, she reaches in and grabs and pops the hood. It clicks up, and she takes a step out. Whoa, 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 whoa! Well, hold on, let's not give it a man's voice. Let's roll real quick. Even male, odd female. Even male, so it is a man's voice. This guy, there's no use in asking if he's armed. He's definitely armed. If they're pretending to be sheriffs or deputies, because this man's got to be the deputy if he's not skilled. He's the threat. Or, not he's a threat, he's armed. So she pops the hood, she takes a step back, and hears something drop. Whoa, 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 whoa! And she turns around. She has advantage of 1 over his, so even though she's caught off guard, she whips around, and she has the gun ready before he does. Perhaps he has a rifle of some sort. It's an M16, right? Because I think that's a standard cop assault rifle. So he's fumbling, and he lifts up his, but she has the aim first. Easy, girl. Easy, you can put the gun down. My cat just walked in the room, and there's a super, super loud motorcycle that I don't know if the mic is picking up. Who the hell are you? Whoa, girl, I'm a cop. You can lower it. You're a cop? I'm a cop. And he reaches down and shows the badge that he has at his waist. She lowers the gun. You scared me half to death, he says. And she looks down. My immediate thought, since the car wasn't starting, there was no obvious power, was he holding a battery? Let's roll that. No, he's not holding a battery, but he's holding a portable charger. She glances down at it. It's a massive yellow box with 2 jumper cables on the side of each one, the little prongs, 1 red, 1 black. She's still holding the gun, but it's low. It's dead if you're trying to take it. We thought the same thing. The rest of my unit, he says. And then he corrects it. The rest of my squad. You holding out here? We have to get off those streets. How did you get in here? Where's your... You don't have vehicles? Well, we're a little too suspicious, right? Are you guys armed? She asks. Yeah, we're good. You mind helping me back here? Yeah. Yeah, sure. She puts the gun in her pocket. Safety on. She probably knows about that. She owned a gun. You want to pull the hood up for me? She nods. I can trust you, right? She nods again. He lets the M16 slide to his side, and he picks up the charger again. The 2 of them walk over to the front of the vehicle, the van, and she pops the hood. And he places the big machine in front of him and pulls off the 2. Come on, don't you be fucking dead on me, he says. And he connects it, places them 2, turns it on. The machine makes a loud beeping noise. It's gonna try to charge the battery for a second. And then we turn and hope to God it works. Why don't you try any of the others? The vans, I mean. Well, before I say anything, before I make an assumption, Have they tried any of the others? Are the other vehicles in working condition? Yes, and that's the second. Yeah, we tried the others. There's gonna be... Cat is trying to murder the green screen. Of course, right? Yeah, we tried the others, he says for a second. But we need more than one van just in case shit happens, you know? You seen the amount of cars out there? Or the amount of people that are struggling? We're gonna need them. We're gonna generate his name real quick, going once more to Random Lists, one of my favorite websites, because I always use the damn thing. Good job whoever made it. So, as always, what we do here is first we roll D10. This is how many refreshes on the page. 2. 1, 2. Now we roll D12 to see which name... Are you the D12? D12. To see which name off this list we choose. So, let's roll it now. 2. Name's Max, by the way, he says. Let's write that down. Name's Max, by the way, he says. Mckayla. Well, Mckayla, you mind getting in there and turning the key? Yeah. Real quick, we're going to ask, has anybody come up to check on Max or to back him up? 1. No one came and no one is coming. She walks over to the van, gets inside, grabs the key, and turns it. Does it start? No, it doesn't start, but it cranks. It did more than the last one did. Or the last turn of the key did. Not starting! Yeah, I can see that, he says. Give me a second, we're gonna have to give it a bit. I don't think this damn thing charged enough. Maybe it's not the battery. She steps out. You know anything about cars? Not a damn thing. You? Does he? 5. Yes. Dad taught me a thing or two, he says. Probably just dead as shit. Who knows how long they let it sit here. She nods as she looks around. The vehicles are not in the best condition. Perhaps they show signs of rust or aging. The van in front of her is not recent. Perhaps it's about 20 years old. You should just take one of the school buses. I didn't even ask the question. But the question is, did they consider taking the school bus? And the roll is 6, yes. Which is the third one. Have you guys thought about taking the school buses? Yeah. Something that big won't maneuver as quick as I want. However, let's go ahead and activate that wild. For those of you who didn't see the last episode, every 3 6s that we get on a question when we're asking the Oracle is going to contribute to the wild count. On a 3, we will be introducing a Resident Evil character, whether that is an enemy monster type, or a named character, or simply a generic type from the RE Genesys book, such as cop or SWAT officer. We will be bringing them in and introducing them. So, first we roll to decide what it is. Even or odd. Even is monster, odd is human. So here comes the roll for that. Human. We're going to break that down, essentially with another D100 roll that tells us where we can pull it from. A minion, which is a low-class character, a rival, which is a higher-class character, and then a nemesis, which is a named NPC straight from Resident Evil. This is a D100 roll. And here comes the roll. 57. We are bringing in a minion. I don't know why I got rid of that dice. I'm going to need it. Either way, here's the minion. 64. It is a SWAT officer. What are the chances of it being Sheldon? However, I did say that I would leave Sheldon's fate up to anybody who wants to say it. So we're not going to just roll for it and ask, is this Sheldon? It's another SWAT officer. So, The door that Mckayla already came through pops open, and she whips around with that handgun. Okay, now is the SWAT officer alone? 4. Yes, he's alone, but he's being followed by zombies. So he kicks the door open and he slams it, and it catches both of their attention. Mckayla whips back with the gun and just looks in that direction. She sees him clearly, and he places his back against the door, and it's getting pounded on. Perhaps the distant moans of the undead can be heard through that. It's some sort of weak metal door. Fuck! 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 He says. Oh shit! 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 Mckayla hops out of the vehicle, her handgun at the ready, as she rushes forward. That cop, Max, the fake cop, rushes up behind his M16. What the hell's going on out there? He asks as they approach. Son of a bitch! Undead! A fuckload of them, they're trying to get through! And the door's getting pounded on. Well shit, back away, we'll gun him down! You think that's a smart idea? No, we don't want to be in here with them. If you get bit, you turned into one of them. Does the deputy know that? Yes. Does the SWAT guy know that? No, but he's had suspicions. Maybe he's seen it. Oh, shit. That explains a lot. Boom. The door gets hit. The door gets hit again. Now, we know that there are several zombies out there. How many? We're going to find out right now. First, we're going to roll a d4. And the numbers will correlate to 1 being a d4, 2 being a d6, 3 being a d8, and 4 being a d10. So here comes the d4 now. D10 zombies are trying to get in. I believe this was the d10? Yes. So, 5 zombies are banging at that door. They are slamming it, hitting it. They're going to be stronger than that guy. And it is very likely that they're going to break through that door. So we're rolling 2 dice and taking the higher number. Do the zombies get through? 6. That is our first wild on the reset count. And the door gets bang, bang, bang. Mckayla's taking a few steps back. She's wondering. He said zombies, but in the back of her mind, she's thinking, did that man follow me? The giant with the hat. And the door bursts, and the SWAT guy falls forward. Does he lose his gun? No, but it falls out of his hand. He doesn't lose it completely. It's still within range. As he drops and hits the ground, it just slides in front of him. The deputy takes a few steps back, and he starts shooting. The rounds kick off. The shell casings fly out. They land next to the SWAT officer, who turns around, grabbing his MP7, because apparently I established that that's what they use, rolls onto his back, and starts firing. Mckayla wants to hold her ammunition because she only has 15 shots. Does she think that, though? We're going to roll. Cool check. I gotta find that out, because despite the fact that we've rolled 1,000 of them, I don't remember what they are. Is it yellow-green? I feel like it's yellow-green. It is yellow-green. Does Mckayla have the intelligence, not intelligence, but situational awareness to know that she only has 15 rounds? She shouldn't waste them. Red to represent 10 zombies, because 10 zombies is 10 zombies. We'll throw a blue, 2 blues, to represent the fact that both of these dudes are just letting loose. They're shooting in there. And then 1 more purple, because we're going to represent the fact that her nerves are probably shaken. She's probably tired and not thinking completely clear. So let's roll that. Success. Failure by 4 with an advantage of 6. Holy shit. So, how do I want to do this? Advantage of 6 with a failure of 4. We're going to say that she fires off 4 rounds, and she fires off 4 rounds. And then that can just be the advantage. She fires off 4 rounds. I was thinking like 6 advantage minus 4 to fire 2 rounds, but that's a massive failure. We'll just make it 4. So, she sees them coming in. Perhaps one gets a little too close that they're not able to shoot. And shaken, she's just like, oh god, and then she rises. Gun up and... That last one hit the mic. Make a note real quick that she fired them off. And then we're going to ask the Oracle. Does Max's allies, do they hear this? No, and they don't don't care. No one's coming. I already said that, but now this is double. No one's coming. They're shooting at these things. The rounds are kicking off. Perhaps Max... Did Max have a full magazine? Yes. So perhaps he's not out of ammo. He's aiming high. He's hitting. He's hitting. He knows they're infected. Does he know headshots are the best bet against these things? No. So he's just shooting. She stands up. Well, she's already standing. The SWAT officer stands up. He crawls back. Are they able to kill? They would have to be able to kill some of them, but we want to know how many. Out of D10, because 3 people are technically firing into this crowd, how many of them are killed? 3. 7 of the undead are still coming in. Actually, I think I just rolled 5 earlier. Pretty sure it was 5. Goldfish. We are going to go with 5, because I think it was 5. Then they kill 3 of them, so 2 are still stepping in. Reloading, the SWAT officer says as he pops a mag into the MP7. We're going to go ahead and bring these 2 up. We're going to let these last 2 zombies actually be creatures that we fight against. There are rules for combat that I don't remember in the middle of combat. Essentially, every success above the initial 1 success deals an additional damage. And that's what we want to be aware of here. That's what I want to try to be aware of here, so I don't just forget it. But we're not going to do a complete breakdown where I roll for all their initiatives. We're just going to go straight up. Mckayla, being main character, the actual player character of the game, is going to get her first shot out first. First shot out first. I'm a writer, by the way. I don't know if I ever told you that. We're going to look right here to her. It is ranged light, which is surprisingly pretty decent. We have yellow, green, green. Good job, Mckayla. I'm proud of you for once. Just this once, though. And she aims her weapon. This is a standard light pistol. If she hits, it's a damage of 5. We'll worry about that if she hits. There are multiple zombies here. Right? 2. There are 2 zombies here, each with 4 health. They are close enough that this is considered a close-range threat. So here she is taking her shot at it. Triumph, success, and threat. She succeeds by 4 with a negative, though. However, it's a triumph. The triumph, it can cancel out that threat, no problem. I'm not sure if that's how the rules work, but that's how it happens. We are going to use it to look at the rule book. I was supposed to set out my Genesys little book in front of me. Be back. You think you have everything, but then you don't, right? So, let's take a look real quick. She has a triumph. What can I do with that? I'm going to have it, when dealing damage to a target, have the attack disable the opponent. So, essentially, that zombie is going to lose 1 turn. She shoots it, and, when they step back in the game, nonetheless. It steps through. She aims, and she fires. I have a total of 4 successes right there. So it deals 4 additional damage. So that is 5 plus 4 for 9. Or 3, technically, because it's every 1 above it. So it's 8. The zombie has a soak of 4, which means it eats 4 rounds, leaving, well, what? 4. It has a wound threshold of 4. This zombie goes down. Her first shot, she aims it, steps through, and she fires. 10 rounds left. However, the zombie's head pops in a brief explosion of gore, so she just... Disgusting. Beside her, the SWAT officer has finished reloading. Oh, it doesn't pull back. That's kind of disappointing. And the zombie steps forward. The second one, the one that's still alive. Let's take a look at the SWAT officer's stats. He has a submachine gun ranged light, which goes off of what I believe is agility. I also want to say with that ranged light, he's going to have... We're going to give him Agility 3. So it's essentially... It's essentially the same... Why is it not working? And we're back. Have it all sorted out. So, essentially he's going to have the same role as Mckayla. Zombie still very up close to it. With one going down, it leaves just that. We're not going to give him any advantage or boost. And he's going to fire off. Advantage of 2, but he fails. As he aims forward, he slams it in. Perhaps his weapon is jammed, right? He clicks it, he doesn't hit the maneuver, he just fell, he dropped it. There's a shell stuck in the side from when it fell. Fuck! Give me a second, he says. Can't get the damn thing off! We cut to the deputy to his right, the false deputy. I am giving him the same statistics as a cop for simplicity's sake. That is a light pistol, but he has the assault rifle, not the light pistol. That's right, he has an assault rifle. So let's see, it deals 8 damage if he hits with it. That's cool. I'm guessing again that's going to be just light. Give me a second. Ranged heavy, which is an agility skill. And because he's a fake deputy, I'm not going to say he's going to have a lot of that, so it's just going to be 2. You know, this is a clear indicator that this guy does not know what the fuck he's doing with it. And he fails. He fails by 1. When he fires out those rounds, we say that he just dropped 1 and he swaps over to the next, and when he swaps, he's out of ammo too. So he goes to reload. That zombie is close. In my mind, I have the SWAT officer backing up, but the deputy keeping his place, so he's going to be the one that's attacked. He's going to be the one that's mauled. Probably. We'll see where that goes. So the zombie is going to get close. It attacks with brawn, which is essentially this. He is up close, he being the false police officer, Max. And he goes in to take a bite. We're going to give him a blue for the fact that perhaps the SWAT officer can save him. Advantage is the thing... sorry. That's supposed to be a black. Let's re-roll that now. The creature still gets onto him. With a success of 2, it deals 1 extra damage as it gets up close, reaches out, grabs him, and bites. Max screams as he pushes it off of him. This thing deals 4 damage plus 1 for a total of 5 damage. Max soaks up 2, taking 3. Let me add that into where I'm keeping track of damage. The bite tears into his shoulder, and he pushes it off. He takes several steps back. He lets go of the rifle, and he grabs onto the wound. The weapon dangles at his side. Son of a bitch! He screams out. Mckayla sees this. And the thing staggers back. We're going to give her a blue for the fact that it's almost frozen for a second. 1 purple to represent the distance, and she fires. Advantage is for success, so she succeeds by 3. Let's take a look at this real quick. We're going to go with the disabled one again, which is 3 up arrows. So she fires out, aiming, and then 1 shot. It just deals the standard damage of that pistol, which I want to say is 5. 5. Soak of 1. The creature has 3 health left. The zombie takes the shot, does not seem to give a fuck. Hopefully now, though, homeboy SWAT officer is loaded. Let's bring him up and take a look. Agility of 3. We're going to remove... Well, because it's disabled, right? I disabled it, so it doesn't get an action this turn, so it's going to be frozen. We're going to leave that. This just gets downgraded. No, because he has that. It's the same roll. Agility, yeah, it's the same roll as Mckayla. Succeeds by 1 this time, though. So he does get it off. The creature gets close, and he looks at it, and it's like brains, because that's what zombies in Resident Evil say. And he aims through, he hits the mic, and fires. It is so hard to use props around this damn thing. Is that better? That feels better. But now I'm facing the wrong direction. Whatever, it's VR. You can change the direction you're facing at will. And he fires. The round clicks off. It hits the zombie. Again, this thing deals... It's success 3, so it deals success 1 because of the failure. So it just deals base success of 5. I feel like the submachine gun should deal more damage. Whatever. And the 5 gets soaked to just 1. The creature has 1 health left. No. Yeah. 2 health left, so. And the zombie takes that shot, and off to the right. Fuck! Does he have it in him? He being the deputy, Max. Does he have it in him to act? Can he do something? He was just bitten. He knows what happens when you get bitten. This is going to be willpower of 2. This is probably cool. We're going to do cool. Cool check. Which is presence, actually. And his presence is a 2. So let's think about this. He's a fake deputy, and this is where the mask is going to full-on slip. Because he's not trained for combat. You know, we've already hinted that he's kind of bad at his job. He's not trained for combat. He knows what happens when you get bit. So this red is going to represent the absolute fucking fear and freak out that's going through him. We're actually going to make it 2 reds, because this is probably something super drastic. The first red will represent, oh my god, I've been bitten, I'm going to be one of them. The second will be, oh my god, the sheriff's going to shoot me. But he keeps it together. He keeps it together. The threat is going to be changed into 2 black dice, because it's a threat of 2 with a success. And he's like, oh, you son of a bitch! Delete. Black and 1. 2 blacks, right? And he lifts up the M16 and he fires. With a failure of 3, he fires wildly. In fact, the first shot that goes off jerks the shoulder and he can't take it, and the first doom doom doom, it goes against the wall behind him. But the zombie doesn't react because the zombie lost its turn. Going back to Mckayla, who fired off a round last time. She has a 10 at this current moment, I believe. And she takes her shot, which she refuses to throw away. And she fires. Success of 2, advantage 3, threat, so the threat cancels out for just 2. However, we deal 1 additional damage. So instead of just 5, it deals 6. The zombie eats 4 of that with 2. She kills the zombie. Congratulations, Mckayla. You've actually managed to kill something, which is more than that guy outside of the liquor store did. 9 rounds. It's still kind of frozen after he pushed it back and then he fired. And then she lifts her handgun. And she fires. The last round doesn't pop the head. The creature takes a step back, kneels down, and hits. We're gonna remember that there's a zombie in here. Because crimson heads are a thing. Terrifying thing. Huh. And her weapon's smoking as she aims ahead. She lowers it. The SWAT officer looks back at her, and then to the right. Max. Fuck. Shit. Fuck! Hey man, you're gonna be alright. Chill, the SWAT officer says. Alright! You know what's gonna fucking happen to me! Do you know what's gonna happen to me? And she thinks about it. Al Shelton made her promise to do what has to be done, the danger that would come from it. And she looks down at the bodies, and the others that could be in here. Is Mckayla cold-hearted? Will she shoot him for her survival? Let me look at the book, or her character sheet, and see what that should fall under. Just because it's named that way, I'm going to use survival. To see if she's cold-blooded enough to survive, right? This is cunning, as it says. You see it on screen now. But what are we going to make this against? She just saw several zombies and they bit. We've already established in the past that Mckayla goes about, self-preservation. She ran from Sheldon. She ran from Sophia. The whole reason she came out here in the first place. So, we're not going to give the first one a red. We're going to make it a purple. We're going to give it a blue because she sees the zombies in front of her. She knows the danger that could come. And this is what I'm going to roll against. Because I feel like Mckayla, who's already shot somebody before the outbreak even happened, Mckayla, who left her girlfriend to die, who left the SWAT officer Sheldon to die, is probably more concerned with staying alive than this cop, you know? So here we go. She doesn't do it, but she has an advantage of 6. What can we say that advantage is going to be for? We're going to say that 6 advantage is going to be used to represent that if he turns, she's going to get a first reaction over it. She's going to be aware of it. She's going to be keeping an eye on it at all times, and I won't make her roll for perception if he does anything, if she's there when he changes. And he sees the way she's holding the gun, and the half hesitation. The fuck you looking at me like that for? I don't know, she says. And she lowers it. The SWAT officer, who just heard about the infections, who was sent out here to save civilians. Well, we're going to roll a d6 and ask, is he the type to jump the gun like that? Because he probably has better training against, you know, doing anything. So, is this guy able to... He is not the type to jump the gun, and he thinks they can find a way to save him. Hey. We'll get you a minute. We'll get you out of here. Does this guy know about the checkpoint that Sheldon was going to take Mckayla to? Yes. Hey, we got medics, we got doctors, we got people at a field hospital nearby. We're taking all civilians there. I was supposed to be here to get others out. Do you know someone named Sheldon? Mckayla asks. Yeah. Yeah, have you met him? He's dead. Lost a lot of good men today. Look at that car of yours works. We get you in here. We get you, both of you out there. I'm not alone, the guy says, bleeding. I got my captain inside the courtyard. Then take us to him. We go get him. Actually, we are going to see, because Max knows that the sheriff will kill him. 2d6 to represent the chance that this is a no. Does Max even bring up the other people? 2. Solid no. We'll get you there, you'll be fine. That car of yours works, the van. We're trying to fix it. Battery has to have had a little bit of a charge, a little juice in it. See if you could start it. Yeah, alright. And the SWAT man walks over to it. Gets in there and turns. Does the car start? Yes. Second. I really need to be careful with this, dude. Maybe I'll put it above me next time, but I know I'm going to be like a hungry fish. And the van roars to life. Fuck yeah, the SWAT officer says. Oh, thank God. Mckayla breathes a deep sigh of relief. You guys hop in. She walks over to the back and pulls it open. She steps in, she's about to get in with him, and then she says, why don't you stay back here and I'll get the passenger side. Yeah, I can do that. Max climbs into the back. Mckayla closes him in. Actually, this is me thinking it. I don't know if Mckayla would think about it, because Mckayla isn't me. We're going to roll streetwise. One that I haven't used yet. That is 1 yellow, 2 green. And this streetwise is, she knows he's infected. Is she going to try to take the M16 from him? You figure that if this guy's already going to die, for her, in her mind, it's better to take the weapon than to let the zombie have it, right? If a zombie has the weapon, he's not going to use it. So we're going to take a look at this. 1 purple for the urgency, and then 1 purple for the fear of taking the weapon away from a SWAT officer. However, we're going to add a blue to that because she wishes she would have took Sheldon's gun. I mean, he's probably fucking dead. So let's see. Triumph advantage threat. She succeeds by 2. Triumph. The triumph is going to represent the fact that he agrees. That's what we're going to give it to her as. Why don't you... But it's a threat of 3. We'll let the triumph and the threat cancel it out so that it becomes a conversation instead. Role-playing is always better than dice. Hey, why don't you give me your gun? Excuse me? Your gun. It's probably better up front where I can use it to defend each, you know? Defend us if something happens. And leave me back here defenseless? We're gonna make another roll. This is gonna be coercion. Coercion. The first time I say it, I can't ever say it. This guy probably doesn't want to give it up. Solid, not yellow. Come on, dice. Solid red. He does not want to give up his weapon. In fact, second solid red, because he's thinking he's probably going to have to use it against them if they shoot him. He's not going to be defenseless against people who are probably going to, you know, shoot at him. 1 black to represent the fear that he knows what's going to happen. Sorry, that's supposed to be a blue. The black was a black against him. So here it is. Failure with an advantage. I'm not going to worry about the advantage in this range. Actually, I will. Because let's not cheat out the system. If you turn, what use is a gun to you? Look, I'll put it against the window. Or you can just stick your hand in and grab it if something happens, but I'm not going to be unarmed. I'll wait at the other side. And I'll give you a shout if something happens. Good enough. Come on, I want to get there before sun up, the SWAT officer says in the front. And Mckayla closes the door. She turns and walks to the passenger side. And she gets in. The SWAT officer's MP7's on the dash. She's still holding her handgun. Behind. Max is shaking his head. And the barrier rises as they drive through. And once again, Mckayla thinks, maybe I can save Sophia. This is going to be her discipline. We are going to upgrade one of them to a yellow because we're not, yeah, we'll leave it as the yellow because then we can make the other one a red. We're upgrading this to a yellow because now there's mobility and there's another SWAT officer with her. She has backup. The red is going to represent the fact that one of the cops, the cop that she brought with her, he's infected, he's wounded. And that's dangerous. The second red will represent the fact that she thinks she's gonna have to go past that thing. The fedora man. Does she bring up Sophia? Yes. With the threat of 2. She looks over to the driver. Closes her eyes, takes a deep breath. You got something to say? The other world's diner. Do you know what happened there? That's where the threat of 3 will come from. Yeah. It was supposed to be defended. There. They were meeting the bulk of the horde up there. Do you know how it went? It was a fucking slaughter. I don't think anyone survived. My wife was in the diner. Sorry to hear that. What kind of woman would I be if I didn't at least try to save her? We already established before earlier with the role for shooting Max that this SWAT officer is the type to try and save somebody. We're going to roll 2d6 and take the higher number here. 2 6s? That is a wild. However, that's also him agreeing. But before we figure out what he says, we're going to see what they run into. This is the same roll as before. Even, monster, odd, human. Odd is a human. Minion, rival, or nemesis. D100. 59. It is another minion. But what kind of minion? 2. It's a police officer. Is it one of the fake police officers they run into? Yes. Okay. Is it the sheriff? No. Okay, so it's just one of the police guys. He comes running off to the side, out of the road. Is he hit? Actually, no. We're going to make that a check, a driving check real quick. Let me look for a brief second what driving is even considered. Driving is an agility check. The SWAT officer has agility of 3. Alright, this is sudden, right? So he's not fully prepared for it. But he is slightly paying attention to the road. We're gonna roll that. Look, there's no saying that she's still alive, but we need to advantage of 5, success of 2, failure of 1, so he succeeds. Look, there's no saying that. Holy shit! He slams on the brake and comes to a halt. The guy in the front. He's waving his hands and the van stops in front of him. And he rushes over to the side. Max, what the? And he stops when he sees the SWAT officer. You want to Max's unit? Mckayla asks, looking over past the officer. Yeah, is he with you? He's in the back. He's bitten. Does this guy know about the bites? No, and... Fuck. Sucks for him. Where the hell are we going? Civilian checkpoint. Damn, man, take me with you. He walks over to the back, pulls open the door, and hops in. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Not too great. Where are the others? I ditched him. Is what I'm about to say. Even in my mind, which is no. Okay, I was going to ask, is the leader going mad? No, bud. No. Davis started enforcing some weird shit, and I'm not sticking around for that. I thought we could leave together. We are. You really don't look so good, man. I'm fine. Why don't you sit over there? He points near the gun. The M16 that he set aside. And Mckayla glances back. The SWAT officer keeps driving. Hang on, Sophia. I'm on my way, she thinks. Holy crap, I can't talk today. Third video down. I stuck with the challenge of getting this episode finished by 2 weeks after the last one, and well, I did it. And I feel so much better about this video than the one before it. I pretty much solved the green screen issue by setting up 3 more lights, all at conflicting angles, and then I tweaked the settings a bit more. Looking at the render preview, I don't look as jagged as I did in the second episode, and there's a lot less tearing. Hopefully the render looks good. Oh, I also fixed the sensitivity of the mic. I don't know why that changed in the last episode. Even threw a limiter on for good measure, I think it helped. I did make one major change this episode, and I think I'm going to keep it. Previously, I tried to leave my footage as intact as possible. Since this was an improvised show, I thought I should only do jump cuts when absolutely necessary. I didn't want it to seem like I was doubling back, or fudging dice rolls, and I haven't done any of that. But intact footage meant you also get a lot of me rambling, which is weird because I don't really ramble when I DM, it just seems to happen during solos though. I'm probably just trying to fill silence. I noticed this while editing the last episode. It felt so good when I finished recording it. I was excited, hell yeah! Mr. X showed up! The scene was going to be so cool when I sat down and edited it. Then I sat down and actually edited it. And wow. My rambling killed a lot of the pace and tension of what was essentially a boss fight. But that was an important moment. I had to leave it intact so there wouldn't be room to question dice rolls or if I doubled back. I'm not going to cheat in a solo game. Like, why cheat in a solo game? Hell, why even cheat in RPGs at all? And yes, I have seen people cheat in RPGs, it's ridiculous. But anyways, I figured that keeping pace is probably better than obsessing over how my dice rolls look. I'm asking for an hour of your time, and I should be able to respect that by cutting out the parts that don't really add anything. I figured that letting the dice sit between fades shows that I haven't changed or re-rolled them, and well, I'm probably the only person that's worried about that. Look, I'm still trying to figure out my format, learn my proper editing techniques, and discover the best way to do this show, so thanks for bearing with me. It can only go uphill from here, right? Okay, but what about the actual gameplay? It was cool for Mckayla to have some longer interactions. I don't know how much of this we'll actually touch on, but I think the fake cops are super interesting. It's like a sort of moral thing that shouldn't really matter. The world is straight up ending. Why should she care if someone is pretending to be a cop? But my instinct says she should. The entire situation tells us something about the imposters. Why fake being a cop if the entire system is breaking down? Authority? In a situation like this, authority probably is more of a burden than, like, a help, right? And then how'd they even get the gear? I guess we'll find out a little more in the next episode. And I hope to see you there. Until then, I'll be in other worlds. I did that thing where I raise my voice as I talk into the mic again. I'll beat that someday.